And she said my house is shaking and it's roaring downstairs. And, you know, she's, her being in her later years, she didn't know what to do. And, I was still talking to her, and then she got disoriented, it got in the water, and she almost got pulled out of the house because I heard her fighting to try to get out. I was like, no, you got to get out of the water. You stay where you are.
And tell me what this house means to you.
This is where I grew up for all my years. And, this is a house my mom and dad built together back in the early 80s or late 70s. And overall, there's a lot of childhood memories here because, there's a creek right behind us, go out there, go fishing, and, had a bunch of farm animals here and there. And I knew that I heard about the flood, and we got my mother out on Saturday, and it was at 3 in the morning, and my wife woke up around 3, and she had an inkling to check Facebook, and saw there was an evacuation order from Big Sandy. And she said, woke me up and said, your uncle, you need to call your mom. And I called her, and she, was so out of it that she didn't call the police or anything. And she said, my house is shaking and it's roaring downstairs. And, she's, her being in her later years, she didn't know what to do. So my wife called, 911 while talking with dispatch, and dispatch talking to firemen, because they couldn't see her house because there's mobile homes in front of it. And I said, it's a red house, with a big gate up front. And, I was still talking to her, and then she got disoriented, it got in the water, and she almost got pulled out of the house because I heard her fighting to try to get out. I was like, no, you got to get out of the water, you stay where you are. And, we were doing a 5-way phone call, just talking with the firemen and try to get her out. And they got her out by boat with 6 feet of water on the first floor behind us. This house is on pier and beam. So, it's easily 10 foot of water or so from the ground where it used to be. And the backside of the house, there used to be a tree right there, and it tore out the whole back of the deck. And I don't know how those firemen got her out, but they did. And we're grateful for that. And that was at 3:30 in the morning. And so I knew, once I picked her up on that morning on 6 and got her to a hotel, and just hearing her story, and that I knew on Sunday, whatever image I had of a childhood home was going to be completely overwritten. And, coming here to where there was cars literally against the front room and boats, and where we're at is probably under 10 feet or so of lumber from the all this debris, and cars and trucks all over the place. And, it's just, you're rewriting all what you grew up with overnight. And as we clean up this place here, because I know this house here didn't have insurance, so it pretty much almost saying goodbye to it as I go through it, because I know that there's so much damage that my mom will not be able to come back here probably. And most likely, just the fact of amount of things that happened to this home. 6 foot of water coming across and just blowing out all the windows. And I'm just so thankful that she didn't get pulled out into the stream of water.
And you're getting help and trying to just get access to your house.
Yeah, so Cajun Navy came out day one, and all these volunteers, and we're so thankful and grateful that we were able to get assistance. And Cajun Navy 2016, and just trying to make sense of what to do next, because I never been in a disaster or anything like that. So I was like, okay, I was asking John, the owner of Cajun Navy, I was like, okay, what do we do next? Because we got the live people out. We were still pulling out other animals here and there that were caught up in the water who were still alive. So we had to go get volunteers from other agencies like Feral Life to collect cats, and some other dog rescues. And it was just a group of people. All these volunteers from all around were able to help establish some order in this community. And we're just so grateful of having the blessing of these individuals to come out and to give us assistance, especially during these times.
I know. Could you even get to your house? I
No.
saw how much debris there was in the beginning.
Oh no, we couldn't. The only way we could only access is through the floating deck that on the back side, and that was just a hazard. There's only a piece of steel holding up the whole corner of the house. So no, nothing legitimate. No, nothing safely.
What do you do now?
I'm just going to continue trying to work over here with John and KG Navy and all these other volunteers and these other companies, just to try to help get people's belongings back to where they are, because we had like 9 other cars here from up the street and 3 mobile homes from up the street. They're over here, and just work with the community in general, just try to get some order back out here.
Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and get the latest news by downloading the CBS Austin News app.
It was so bad. Actually, right behind you, there was a car on top of what was left of a roof of a house or something from somewhere. And once we cleared that, we found a truck under it. Didn't even know it was there.
I understand why you came out here, but I mean, that was a quick response to get out here.
Yes, ma'am, it was. We, as soon as we heard about it on 4th of July, we immediately got our assets together and deployed the following morning out here.
What were you able to bring, and what was your immediate, I guess, priority?
Well, we were able to bring our machines, and you know, whenever things first happened, we kind of went to the place that was getting the most publicity, which was Kerrville, and we got down there, and there was a whole lot of people. It wasn't very organized. It's always like that, but really our organization, KG Navy 2016, we try to focus on the smaller towns that don't get as much coverage and people don't know about. And as you can see, this small town right here, it really got hit pretty hard.
I know that yesterday they found what may be the last missing person in Travis County. Did you all, I know I had talked a little bit before, did you all help in that effort, and how did you help?
No, ma'am, that was county workers. We were actually working on the other side of that low water bridge and at this spot here also. But yeah, the county workers that were clearing the debris between the bridge and the new low water bridge, they discovered that.
Gotcha. You all didn't help in clearing the debris to help the searchers get in there?
Not in that particular location, no, ma'am. We actually found, I forget exactly what day it was, maybe the beginning part of the week. We did, one of our guys discovered the individual in a pile up here at the very beginning of the street. But that I know of, there's probably been 3 people recovered that I know of right here. You know, not counting what the SAR teams have been looking at also.
It's just so hard. But you all get in, and what you're able to do is clear the way for people to come in and get to their homes.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, usually whenever we come in, that's our MO. We clear roads and try to help local officials get all that opened up where people can get accessible again. And after this, you know, of course, people need gas for generators, food, water. A lot of them, they lost all that. So we're blessed enough to be able to come in like that and make a big difference.
And I know it's also, I mean, you can't even get your insurance adjuster out here until you clear the road.
Yeah, I mean, it's a process, you know. In the first part, you have search and rescue, and then unfortunately comes recovery. And then we try to get debris cleaned up where these homeowners can kind of get back in and get that adjuster out here to kind of see what's going on and hopefully get them stabilized as quick as possible.
How is this deployment for you all different than maybe others that you've done?
This one here, it's amazing the amount of destruction. You know, this particular area where we're standing right now, the current, the river's right there, so everything was flowing parallel with this street. Manufactured homes, travel trailers, vehicles, you name it. It all came down this street, and it ended up in the back of Miss Jo's property here and stacked up in the front. If you would have been looking at this place, you know, Saturday morning, there was, well, actually there was a sea can right here and debris pile, probably 8-9 foot tall. It was so bad. Actually, right behind you, there was a car on top of what was left of a roof of a house or something from somewhere. And once we cleared that, we found a truck under it. Didn't even know it was there. And the neighbor's travel trailer, which is over there in their backyard now, was back here in the bushes on another big debris pile. Miss Jo, she had some dogs here, and unfortunately 8 of those perished, and we were able to dig them a grave site over there and give them the burial that they needed. And you know, it affected more than just people. It affected wildlife, and people just don't understand until they get out here and put their own eyes on it. These pictures and videos that you see just don't do it justice.
I agree with you. What's your next step in this process?
We're just trying to get things cleaned up, and you know, so hopefully the people that want to stay here and rebuild, they'll have a clean slate to start over again. And you know, it's just crying shame, like this house right here. This lady, she's almost 80 years old, and everything she's collected her whole life. I mean, it's really depressing grabbing all these antiques that we're having to throw out. They're not salvageable. And just grabbing with this machine, and I mean, that's what she owns right there in that pile. Well, that's just one pile of probably 10 that we put out here. But you know, everybody needs to pray for these people down here. Pray for all the first responders, everybody involved with the search and rescue from top to bottom. I mean, it takes a village to pull this off and get everybody's lives straight again. And, you know, we're just doing a very, very small part of it.